You can't win if you don't play. And maybe this time I actually will win and all my problems will be solved. I'll be able to quit my job. No more worries if I can only win the lottery. Buy an island somewhere and sip coconut drinks out of a long straw with a shirt, one of those Hawaiian shirts with all of the prints but no buttons for some reason. I'll just relax there and life will be great if I can win the lottery. Winning the lottery, if that's our plan, is waiting to be picked, waiting for someone else, waiting for something to come together and just drop money into our lap. If you get some luck, you get a car and you get a car and you get a car. But Oprah's not doing that anymore. Hello, my name is James Callahan, and this is The Do-Over Show, your resource for training and tutorials, hacks, and how-tos as you begin your do-over for life, money, career, basically you. In a recent Investopedia article on the odds of actually winning the lottery, well, the numbers aren't very encouraging. I'll put the link in the description below so you can read the sad news for yourself. The odds of winning any Powerball prize are 1 in 24.9. Great odds, actually. Until you realize that most of those winnings are less than the money we spent on Powerball in the first place. And the odds of winning a recent record Powerball drawing were 1 in 292.2 million. That's million with an M. We have better odds of being struck by lightning. Those odds are 1 in 180,746, or even 1 in 10 million chance of being hit by a piece of a falling airplane. So if you're going to bet on luck, good luck with that. And here's something interesting. Most of us are convinced that if we play the lottery consistently, faithfully, week after week, that somehow our odds actually increase. But we'd be wrong. It's the same as flipping a coin. It's called the rule of independent probability. And it explains why our odds of winning the lottery each time there's a drawing essentially reset to 0. Just like the odds of flipping a coin. It's always, only, each time we flip the coin, a 50-50 chance of heads or tails. Tails. Tails! That's 2 in a row! What are the odds? The odds are 50-50. Tails, 3 in a row. Tails, 4 in a row. No matter how many times it's heads in a row or how often tails is due, it's always only 50-50. That's the rule of independent probability. You see, probability doesn't care. Now that may hurt our feelings, but it can hurt our bank account even more. That Investopedia article on the odds of winning the lottery actually goes much deeper than the odds of winning the lottery. Like the comparison of investing that lottery ticket money in a market ETF that tracks the performance of the overall market and how that will return more to more of us than buying a lottery ticket every week. If you spend just $5 a week on lottery tickets, in 1 year that's $260. Over 20 years, the total you would spend on lottery tickets would be $5,200. But investing that $260 each year over a 20-year period of time, which is the typical length of a long-term investment in markets, at a yield of about 7%, which is the average yield over that 20-year period of time, and you would more than double your money and have approximately $11,015. Or to put it another way, you would earn more than 100% return on your investment. So besides, you know who you are, who plays the lottery? Overall, approximately half of all U.S. adults collectively will spend upwards of $1,000 per month in hopes of striking it rich. Time and again, when a lottery was introduced in a state, a local number of adults who engaged in gambling, which a lottery technically is, increased 40%, according to Investopedia. Usually less than 20% of lottery players account for over 80% of the amount spent on each and every lottery drawing. But hey, it's just fun money, right? And if I don't play, I won't win. We'll talk about that feeling in an upcoming episode. It's called FOMO, or fear of missing out. And it's trouble. So let me ask you a question. Do you despise small things? Small little things that over time in the right way can become so much more? What if there was a way to win the lottery? Better odds than playing any lottery that I know. When investing that time and money, that effort, that faithfulness, that consistency in something that has an almost guaranteed upside. So sure and so certain of an upside that not even buying every single lottery ticket could match those odds. Winning at your do-over is possible if you break the stick. There's a memorable scene, a storytelling interlude, in the intrigue and tension of the Showtime series Billions, Season 3, when Wendy, psychiatrist and team coach to Axe Capital, puts a question to a character in the season named Jack Foley, aka Blackjack. Blackjack is a kingmaker in New York State political circles. The plot for Wendy has reached a point in which there are no good alternatives. There are no real options. So Wendy asks the question of Blackjack. What do you do when there's no play to be made? When no matter what you choose, it'll end in disaster? Blackjack's response? Classic double-blind. There's a Zen cone, he says, where the teacher holds a stick. He says to his student, if you tell me this stick is real, I'll beat you with it. If you tell me it's not real, I'll beat you with it. If you say nothing, I'll beat you with it. And so the student reaches out, grabs the stick, and breaks it. If a situation is untenable, Mrs. Rhodes, you break that effing stick. The Zen cone is a story used to provoke doubt, to open up new possibilities. It's the kind of practice you'll need to embrace if you're going to have a successful do-over. Breaking that stick is creating a new set of alternatives, new options. Not through passively, aggressively refusing to act or waiting to be picked. If we wait long enough, a decision will be made for us, but not with our best interests at heart. In last week's video, we looked at the importance of starting your do-over the right way by hacking time, starting before you're ready, and practicing gratitude. Are any of these that stick for you, the thing that just keeps getting in the way of a do-over? Maybe it's spending money to feel good. Maybe that's the stick we need to break instead of breaking the 50-51 rule. Have you ever heard of that? If you make $50, you don't spend $51. Maybe it's the fear of a job change. For the average boomer, it's estimated they'll hold about 12 jobs throughout their entire work-life career, while more than 50% of millennials expect to find a new job within the next year, just for the experience and the change it will bring to their life. Experience and change? Is that frightening to you? Whatever it is, discovering that stick will be an important part of your successful do-over. What's the number one thing we say we'll do if we win the lottery? Yep, quit our job. So let's talk about how we feel about jobs and careers and what they mean to us. If workers in the baby boomer generation will hold just over 12 jobs throughout their work-life career, that means the average time spent at the job will be 4 years. If you know someone that's been at the same job for 20, then you probably also know someone that's had 4 jobs in 1 year. And that number of 12 career jobs over one's work lifespan has been consistent even with the economic downturns and job losses of the housing market crash and the Rona situation. But this may come as a surprise, that 50% of millennials that say they're expecting to make a job change over the next 12 months for the sake of better experience. Economists call all this talk of employment and job change churn. But churn in the job market is a notoriously difficult thing to track. One of the bad raps that millennials get is that they are job hoppers. For millennials, the average number of jobs they will hold over their work-life career is estimated to be 12. Wait, the disloyal job-hopping generation. Why do they get that label? Well, millennials survey well, and they're much more likely to take an active role in their job choice and career changes rather than waiting for economic downturns. Instead of waiting to be fired or downsized or waiting for the global economy to collapse around them. The difference between the generations, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is estimated to be one more of willingness. The biggest difference and the biggest change in the job market has been the perception of employers shifting from loyalty to uncertainty. For the first time in a long time, more than 50% of those active in the workforce don't think that their employers are loyal to them. So there's no upside in being loyal in return. Add to that pay increases come from job and career changes, no longer primarily through annual reviews and incremental raises with the same company. And you'd think that the number of job changes consistently drops the older the worker gets, as they search for stability and safety or security, and as they maybe find that life's calling, that one true career. But that's not what's happening. Job changes among 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds actually increase at the same pace as younger workers. And that number drops precipitously in the 60-year-old group only when you add the one component of retirement. The shift is that longevity in a job or the same company doesn't mean as much as the quality of our compensation or the quality of our life experience. Have you ever known someone who is around your age, assuming you're a little older than Justin Bieber, who has held one and only one job throughout their entire work-life career? I actually know a few people like this, who have held the same job in the same company for 30, 35, even 40 years. If that person looked for another job, or had to look for another job, what obstacles would they encounter? The same job for 35 plus years, huh? What does that say about you? We might as well advertise ourselves as not easily bored. For most, well, for everyone, that world is going away. And the world of careers has become the world of work-related experiences. Two final things to bring together what we can learn. First, start by updating or keeping your resume current, even if you have the perfect job, even if you work for yourself, even if you're one of those cooler than cool entrepreneurs or YouTubers everybody admires. Keeping and updating your resume is a way of becoming your own boss, of steering our own careers and experience story. And second, and this one is going to feel weird, get in the habit of always looking for a new job. Even if you never actually submit your resume or have an interview if you do submit your resume, make it a new habit, part of your own responsibilities as your own boss, to know your job market and your marketability. That puts a value on yourself, and it also gives your employer, if you're looking to be employed, something to value in you, and you something to offer of value to them. You have great odds of winning the lottery of life if you bet on yourself and become your own boss. Thank you so much for being here. If this has helped you, please tap the like button so YouTube knows what you like, and please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode next week to help you with your do-over. I'm so glad you found me and I found you. Thank you. Tails again. Tails. Heads. What year is this coin? 1967? Wow. Most of you learned about that in your history books or maybe by watching Forrest Gump. Heads is due, right? 5 in a row for tails.